Okay, so you guys know this is the spinal cord. Okay, so let's do the meninges first. This layer that's fused to the cord is the pia mater.
Pia mater.
Right, so that next layer right there is gonna be
Arachnoid mater?
the arachnoid. Yes, very good. And then the outer layer right here would be
Dura mater.
dura mater. So this potential space here that looks like a black line would be,
Would be the superior sagittal sinus?
this is actually the subdural space.
Subdural space.
The superior sagittal sinus is only
On the
up
head?
here. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the subdural space. This space outside of the dura mater where the fat is would be epidural space.
Oh, that's where they inject, like, when you're
Yes,
getting-
epidural injections go into this space, exactly. So epidural space, dura mater, this black line is a subdural space, and that is the arachnoid. So this space here would be subarachnoid.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, subarachnoid, where cerebrospinal fluid would be, and again, pia mater. Okay, so looking at the cord, this on the anterior side would be anterior median fissure. This one is not as deep, so this is a sulcus. This is the posterior median sulcus. Okay, this thing right in the center here is
Central canal.
the central canal. Okay, so the horns. This is posterior, right? You guys know this is posterior because here we have the spinous process. So posterior horn, this is the anterior horn, and that would be the lateral horn, right? Okay, so this would be the posterior.
Is it folliculus? Okay.
You can say funiculus.
Funiculus.
I would accept column, that's okay. Okay, the lateral funiculus or lateral column and anterior funiculus or anterior column, right. Okay, so let's talk about the spinal nerve. On this side, you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so this thing here would be the anterior root. And remember, what travels through the anterior root? They have their cell bodies right here in the anterior horn.
Multipolar motor.
Exactly, yes. They are multipolar neurons and they are motor. Very good. Their axons travel through the anterior root. So that means the posterior root would be?
Unipolar sensory neurons.
Exactly. The unipolar neurons and the R sensory have their cell bodies here. And so what is this thing called?
Posterior ganglion root.
Posterior.
No, I don't know.
That's right. Posterior root ganglion.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Posterior root ganglion. And so that is for the sensory neuron cell bodies. Okay, and then the axon comes into the posterior horn. Okay, and this thing where the two roots come together here is the spinal nerve. Okay, spinal nerve. Now we didn't talk about these branches today, but I will go ahead and go over those. This is called the posterior ramus. Ramus just means branch. And this is going to be sensory and motor neurons that go back to the back, the area back here, like the muscles of the back. Okay, this is the anterior, or you could say ventral ramus. This is a larger ramus that carries the sensory and motor neurons that would go out to the rest of the body, including the extremities. This thing here is actually a ganglion for the sympathetic neurons. It's part of what is called the sympathetic trunk. Okay, and this is a sympathetic ramus carrying some of those sympathetic neurons. And so just know this is a sympathetic ramus. We'll talk more about this next time. And that is it.
Awesome.
Thank you.